Hey y'all, hey.
Hey y'all.
Welcome back to That's Right Unplugged. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Elisa.
Oh, and we are
That's Right, your favorite sister podcast.
That's why it's unplugged. We just out
Straight
here.
unplugged.
We are out here. And this is we don't know what order we're going to put these in.
We do not know.
But y'all know.
Right now.
Lisa is Lisa Ing and doing her thing.
Yes.
And I have conversations with Crystal coming April 2023.
Yes, y'all. Stay tuned for that. It's so exciting. I know you guys cannot wait. I'm so excited for my sister. Guys.
Thank you, boo. I have some questions about that. But so y'all was asking for content. We wasn't doing no content. I'm on my page, twirling my hair.
Looking cute, looking pretty, looking beautiful, whatever.
Look. I have a business coach. Look, I have something to say real fast.
Say it.
My earring. Unplugged. Let me tell y'all something.
Unplugged. This is what happened unplugged. You get
if y'all
it all.
did not watch, I don't know what episode we putting these in, right? But I will tell you this. We don't have a production crew here like usual. We don't have microphones like usual. So this is literally me and Lisa, or lighting. Look at our lighting. Do we look crazy? Don't tell us if we look crazy.
Don't do that.
Please,
right
just
now.
leave us alone.
And you don't even want to know what time it is right
I'm
now.
not even, look. And I got stuff to do.
Okay, in the morning, early.
We just out here. So we're giving y'all content because you asked for content. So we just, we didn't get with our producer. We were just like, yo, we can do this. We're on my iPhone 14. I want you to understand. And that camera, that's why we so close. Because we don't have 2 cameras, we don't have 3 cameras. We have an iPhone and we're recording on that.
Together.
But it's unplugged and it's fun and it's just conversation. So hopefully this is the content y'all looking for, because we have been getting requests for content and we appreciate y'all.
We love y'all, for real. Y'all have been riding with us, for real. We are just so happy and just almost flabbergasted at just the amount of love that has been shown over the course of time that we've had Crystal and Elisa.
It's crazy.
It's really crazy, and we are very appreciative.
Like, we're like 33,000, 34,000 followers. I want y'all to know we aired our first podcast September 12th, 2022. We are 30,000 followers in. And that's wild. And we appreciate y'all.
Yes, we do.
Look, we took a little break for That's Right. People are like, where is the content? Where is the content?
It didn't even been that long.
Look, and here's the thing. We just out here, and we talked about this. We just out here doing our, we black girls, black girling.
Black girls, black girl, and quintessential black girls, black girling.
We're just being
authentic
ourselves.
Black girls being ourselves.
Talking about our love for God, parenting, our love for our spouses, our businesses. We're just talking every day. Look, I'm about to get real comfortable.
What's up? Unplugged.
Everyday black girl conversation, and that you guys can rock with it is. We appreciate y'all.
Yes,
we do appreciate y'all.
Yes.
And so, okay. So y'all know, am I a mess? I look crazy. Thank you.
You look fabulous.
Unplugged. If y'all didn't watch the other episode, because I think we are probably gonna start with the one about the comments.
Probably so. Might as well.
But if y'all didn't watch that, y'all don't understand. We are for real unplugged. So ain't gonna be no cuts. I'll be trying to get my dual juice.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not gonna be no cuts. Y'all gonna get this as it is.
Whatever.
This is us just having a conversation. We don't have no microphones. Hope we're gonna upload this to a podcast channel. Hopefully it don't sound crazy, but if it does,
we unplugged.
Look, watch it on YouTube.
Yep. And if you haven't watched any other episodes, go back and watch the other episodes. We done had a season 1. We done had teasers. We was into our season 2.
Yep.
Now we doing the unplugged.
We just out here.
We just out here.
Do whatever.
Black girl, and
all right, Lisa, I have a question for you. Maybe we just did a question and answer setting.
It could be. I don't know if I have any questions, guys. I really don't. But we gonna see. We gonna make it do what it do.
And we may keep this really short. We say we're gonna keep the last one short. But
you know how my sister is.
But you know I talk because I'm a talker. I talk for a living. I am an attorney. So keep your comments to yourself.
And I'm just in and out, right?
Look, okay.
I like it like that.
But no, for real. So
y'all know that, again, Crystal is doing her own thing, right? Let's talk about that, right? You got conversations with Crystal coming up. Mm-hmm. For those of you guys who have not been keeping up, Elisa not even decided, but just taking a little mommy break, like Crystal has explained. Well, and focusing on a lot of success, because a lot of things have been happening, trying to balance everything and all. And it's just like, dang, I can't keep up with your sis. So just taking a little break for now. Let my sister shine, shining like a light, shining like a diamond, like she does.
Shine like a diamond.
And so my sister is coming out with her own thing called Conversations with Crystal.
Hope y'all like it.
Y'all are gonna love it. Y'all are gonna love it. So having said that, you said you had a question, sister?
So I want you to know so let me tell you how Conversations with Crystal came about. So when I knew we were gonna have to pause on Crystal and Lisa, I was actually gonna do a show with my husband, because I like to talk.
Yes.
And so I was gonna do a show with my husband. So I we talked about that, and I think he's great. So he was really just doing it because he knew I wanted to do a podcast, and so he was gonna do it with me. But then my producer was like, "Yo, you could do this by yourself." So I will say it was very, I felt nervous.
Surprisingly.
Oh, I get nervous a lot. But I felt nervous I feel very awkward in this sitting position. To tell you, like, I wasn't sure how you were going to feel. Right? Okay. Like that I was doing this thing, that I didn't just wait on that's right, And so, and I could have, but I enjoy doing a podcast. Like I do, I obviously enjoy talking. But so, and I people like they think I give parenting tips.
That's what it turned into. That's not how it started out, but this is how it turned out.
Parenting and Christian podcast. So y'all let me tell you something. I am hilarious. Y'all do not laugh at any of my jokes. You don't think anything I say is funny, but honey,
it just be me over here.
I'm funny. Let me get to talking about my kids or my husband. My hair is a disaster. But let me get talking about my kids and my husband. Baby, y'all are tuned in. You hear me? Or God. Y'all tuned in.
That's right.
But anyway, Lise, I was like, and even when we were talking about this, I didn't tell you. I was very nervous to tell you because I was just like, what does that look like? How does that feel? That we're like, okay, we're gonna take a break. And then I'm like, okay, you taking a break. I'm going on. What is that? How did you feel when I told you that? Honestly, honesty. Look, we might not air this one if she's too honest. And I start crying, y'all might not see this. Or y'all might, ain't gonna be no cuts. So.
This is Unplugged, guys, for real. You said, how did I feel when you told me? Honestly, I felt natural. I didn't feel anyway, but happy. Okay. I was actually really happy for you because honestly, I know and knew that you could do this. You know what I'm saying? You could do this all by yourself. You can do this without me, with your personality, I can't even get it out. Personality alone. Look, when we came together and when we started this as Black girls supporting Black girls. So how could we be anything other than that? For real, like, how could we be anything other than that? Your neck, for real, like, for real. That's what we are, And so it was just, I was very happy for you. And I knew that it would be nothing but success. Everything that you put your mind to, everything that you say that you're going to do, everything that you have done since I've known you have been nothing but a success. So I was just very happy for you. Did I think that was going to be the end of Kristen and Lisa? No, Kristen and Lisa will forever be. All you got to do is go back to YouTube. We're there. It will never go anywhere. Kristen and Lisa is who Kristen and Lisa. Right. Whatever we created is what we created. I'm sorry. So I was very, 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 very happy for you and very excited to, be preview to the content before y'all.
And she did. You love the content.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm so nervous. It's so weird.
No, what I told you is like, it's crazy how you can have like all these personalities.
Wait a minute.
No. Okay, hold on. Unplug. No, in a good way. None of the personalities are negative.
Stop saying that. I'm not multiple personalities. Weird. Listen, that's right.
Y'all know that Crystal will have you laughing. She'll have you crying. She'll any emotion.
I have many facets to a single personality.
However you want to put it, okay? However you put it, but
multiple personalities. Oh my god, my husband would think that.
Crystal is definitely worth looking at. Like, you're very engaging, beautiful. Like, yes, I mean, you have to carry this on. Just because Elisa wants to take a break does not mean Crystal and Elisa, Crystal has to die and stop doing what she loves to do best, and that's talk.
It is.
Y'all know.
Let me tell
y'all know it's talk.
You would need to understand that that's my favorite thing in the world. When I go into the courtroom, people get excited that I'm there because, but I feel like I'm engaging.
Absolutely, very much so.
But it's very scary. Like, it's very. Kudos to everybody who goes out and does things on their own because
express that. Yes.
Yeah, it is. I was harassing my producer for the first episode because I was like, I just really feel like in
y'all know what time it is for real.
It's like 2 a.m. I just want y'all to know that. But like, I was harassing her because I remember recording it and I remember how good it felt when I recorded it. It felt so good. But then you know how you go play things back in your head, and I was like, yo, this sucks. And I couldn't remember what I said, and it was just all over the place. And I was calling her. I'm just like, yeah, because I thought it was gonna be awesome at first, and then I was like, oh, this is so good. But then in remembering, I was like, oh my god, you shouldn't have said that. Oh my god, you sound so stupid. Oh my goodness. And I was like really coming down on myself. But that's the enemy. That's Satan.
That's always. That's,
you know, that's
always,
Satan.
Always.
But when she sent me the content, I was like, it's good. I thought it was good, and then I sent it to some people, and. Yeah, I'm tired. Oh my god, I sent this to some people and they said that it was good. So I'm excited for it to launch. I have a few more things to do before it launches, you know. And so I wanted to do maybe a listening party, a little viewing, but not a party, like a very intimate thing. Okay. You know how we did the launch party for Crystal and Lisa. I don't want to do that. I just want to do maybe 30 people, but look, I was like, I got 30 family members who want to come because I do want some of the people who enjoy the content. Like I want them to be able to come and see me and talk to me and have like kind of first dibs on information or whatever. So I'm excited about that, but I'm glad that you don't feel away, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And that's because you're so confident in who you are.
No, yeah. I mean, not even that. Like, I would never.
But I think that has to do with it because we don't have competition amongst each other. And so you can go and you can root for my success. You can support my success. You can tell me that it's great.
Yes.
And then still, when I'm like, yo, we need to do Unplugged. We need to talk to these people. You're like, right there.
Right there.
That's what sisters are for.
Listen.
I love you.
I love you more.
And then you're at my house at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I'm playing,
like,
chilling,
tired. While
but that's what I mean. Like, there will always be a Crystal and Elisa, no matter what. Whether y'all see it on a podcast,
that's right.
Whether y'all see us together, we're all. This
whether
is my
sister.
Whatever. But I don't feel like it's the end of the road for us either. You know,
no, it's definitely not. Yeah.
Like, I feel like the next time y'all see us, maybe not the next time, but. When we really plan to get back and that's right, or do a podcast or whatever we plan to do,
it's gonna be better. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be way better. It's gonna
Lord.
It's gonna be.
So I need my sister to go ahead and be great and do what she's doing best.
Pray for me.
Take it on for Crystal and Lisa. Go ahead and start that conversations with Crystal. You know, I think, you know, letting the world know just a little bit, like, what Conversations and Crystal, like, what that looks like. Like, what...
Is this an interview?
No, we're asking questions, right?
It's an interview.
Let's
Hi, I'm Crystal Wright.
Okay, yes,
and
Crystal.
I am the host of Conversations with Crystal.
Yes.
No, it is... So, let me something so funny. I start the first episode because y'all know I be all over the place, and like sometimes there's a good little nugget y'all can dig out of all that.
A lot of times,
I be talking.
A lot of times.
So I wasn't really sure. I just wanted to talk. I really just wanted to talk, and so we keep kicking the stand.
Yeah,
I want y'all to know that.
Unplugged.
But so the beginning of the first episode, which will be the first episode. Look, we need a recliner. We need a bed. You want a pillow?
No, I'm good.
Okay. At the beginning of the first episode, I say like, oh, I'm going to be talking with people who don't look like me and act like me, and I wanted to be so diverse. And Hannah says, every guest I've invited looks like me, acts like me. I said, well, what are you doing, honey? Because let me tell you something. I like myself, and I like black girls, and I like black culture, and I like all of that. And so I like people who love God, you know, who want to parent and all of that. And so it's really like the first couple of episodes, just me talking about God, my relationship with God, and just how I love God, how I view God. You know, that's the first episode. And then some episodes with me and my son and me and my husband and some friends. And so it's a good time. I had, if nobody likes it, if it doesn't get a good reception, I had a good time doing it. And so that I can say. Yes. Like I had, especially, there are some two episodes. Well, no, I actually do 3 episodes with Chris.
Okay, wow. Oh, dang.
Look, and Chris is crazy.
That was deep.
When we were recording the 3rd episode, he's like, they want me back again. Please relax. It's been 7 years.
I love him.
But it was, I want y'all to tune into that because it was really, and I haven't gotten that to send you the preview. I'm
yes,
sure it for everybody
but I want to get it before y'all, so whatever.
Easy. He is very vulnerable on the podcast, like very vulnerable and very honest. And he says, so at some point I have to, like, he says something about like, something similar, something like, I thought grandma was like loved God, but I see that you love God way more than she does, or something. Lisa, I was like, yo, you cannot cut. My mom's gonna see this. And so he was like, I thought this was supposed to be like me talking to you. Like he was very much like, yes. I thought I was supposed to just be being honest.
Natural.
And so he's like, I just feel like because he comes in my room and he talks to me every day because he thinks I'm his best friend. But he comes and he talks to me. He's like, so I just feel like we in your room talking because it's not filmed in my room. And I'm like, that's fair. Like, I want you to be comfortable. And he was very, Chris was 21-year-old man. He said, I was crying. So one episode he's on, I'm bawling.
Oh my goodness.
Very next episode, I am in stitches laughing. Like, oh my God. Let me say something. I've never used that term before. I've never used in stitches.
I've never yet.
So that's how funny he was.
Wow.
And so Chris
about to steal the show.
He is. We had a good time, and even the producer was crying because his story is so it'll make you emotional.
Oh my God!
And so it's just, and I loved it because I think it'll touch a lot of people. I think it'll touch a lot of like young men and people who have a dream and a dream deferred, and people who have to wait on God and trust God, and all of that. I think that is beautiful. And then there's some with my husband, and he talks about like what it's like meeting me and being married to me.
I love it. And y'all better stay tuned for that.
Yes, and I talk about what it's like being married to him. We talk a little bit about sex. And which was hilarious.
Yeah, because you definitely brought that up.
I did. And I thought he was gonna feel a way about it because if y'all have not watched the abortion and somehow sex episode, please do. But I really did think my husband was gonna feel a way about it. But he was just like, y'all crazy, and it was very, very chill. Yeah. And so, I asked him what was the best part of being married to me, and he said the sex. And
Ooh. He said that.
He did. He said no. Let me be very pure and honest. He said, "I love how you love
conditional and unconditional love."
He said, "No, that's not the same thing." Because I didn't ask him why he was married. I said the best part.
The best part.
Yes.
Okay,
and so
let's be
he
clear.
said, and I think he said, because he said something first. He was just like, "I think I love how you love. I love how giving you are." Something. He was like, and he's like, "I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it." And so I was like, "Say it." And he was like, "The sex." And I was like, it's pretty great. So we started talking about that and talking about the evolution of our sex life and all of this. And I just want to be clear. I was having health issues. My husband's like, we had to get into it and get to know our bodies. And I was like, I literally had health issues when I first met him. So it was very difficult to have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And y'all talk about that?
No, we don't talk about health issues. Because I was thinking about it. Full disclosure, I was like, what does this brother mean? And I was like, oh yes, because I had that thing going on for like the first year, and I had to deal with it. I had a hysterectomy. I'm not. It's nothing to be serious about, but I had fibroids real bad.
Okay.
Real bad, and so it was a disaster. And so and I remember that, and so it was just always something. It was always painful. It was always whatever. And so, and I forgot about that, and I was like, oh yeah, baby, they took the fibroids out. We rolling. They took my uterus. That is not funny.
Yeah. I mean, that happens to a lot of females.
Young. I was 36.
Yeah.
I was 36. So when I had because I had an embolization first. So I had an embolization at 30 because I couldn't understand why my stomach was so big because I was really thin at the time. And when I went to the doctor, she was like, no, like you got fibroids the size of like watermelons. I'm like, what?
Oh, wow.
And so she said, you have an embolization. It should last for 10 years. And because they were like, you're too young and we don't want to throw you into menopause. Okay. And so I wasn't 34. I was 32. And very so, young. So I did the embolization. Them things came back in a year.
Oh, they came back?
In a year. Like, because they shrink them. That's what embolization is. They were big
I thought they actually removed them.
And so, because the only way they could remove was through the hysterectomy. We were just trying to do all kinds of things to manage it. And then I had the embolization again.
Oh, shoot.
And when I had it again, it just did not take it all. And so they were like, and the only thing, and I was like, this is a lot of information. But anyway, I was like, bleeding, because I'm talking to my sister, right? But I was like bleeding like profusely. And so when my doctor put me on birth control. And so I just started taking 2 birth control pills at a time. Dang. Because I couldn't, when I tell you bleeding, like I could wake up in the morning, drive around the corner, and by the time I left my half a mile, my entire pants would be soaked. And so, and I'm not talking about like, oh, you had an accident, like soaked. So she had me taking birth control, and then the birth control stopped working. So I started taking 2. And I went for my annual, and my doctor was like, so how's everything going? She was like, why am I out of birth control pills? That's what it was. She was like, why are you running out so fast? I was like, oh, I'm taking 2. Yeah. And she was like, yo, you're going to have a stroke. And she said that. She was like, you have to have a hysterectomy right away. Wow. And so I had it like within the month. Okay. She was like, but I didn't stop taking the birth control pills. I'm telling you, I went before the Lord. I said, Father, because I could not go back to bleeding like that. Like it was debilitating. I couldn't do anything because it was so much.
It's uncomfortable just to even have a cycle.
Yeah, but this
let alone that, like just gushing, like you can't control it at all.
It was everything was messed up all the time. It was just a disaster. And so, and then I had the hysterectomy, and God is so good. So I had the hysterectomy, and I didn't have any pain.
That's great.
And so I never took any of the pain pills. Never. I was up and moving like 2 days later. So yep, I did. It did really, really well. It did not. My doctor was afraid it would throw me into menopause, and it didn't do any of that. So that's my story. And so I feel for anybody who has fibroids and has to go through stuff like that, because it was, I mean, aside from the sex, it was a very, very difficult time. But God is good
all the time.
Also, go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay. So, you had a couple episodes with hubby, with my brother, y'all, and Chris was on there. So that's good. I think that it's gonna be amazing. Honestly, I'm so excited. I know the world is excited. Cannot wait to see it.
This is my sister. Do y'all remember she said that before on another episode? I hate my hair. Go ahead.
Why are you saying something about your hair right now?
And this is why let me tell you something. This is why they don't let us see ourselves. Because I am preoccupied how I look.
Looking at your hair right now. Let me fix it. No, you look good, sis. And this is Unplugged. It's 2:00 in the morning.
And it is 2:00 in the morning. And I
said world because that's who's looking. Don't act like you weren't just in the salon getting your hair done, just being you natural.
This girl.
Somebody's like, is that Crystal?
No, that happened to me. It was hilarious. It was great though. I don't want to do a lot because she watches the show, but it was really sweet.
No, I'm not saying we're not doing a lot, but it's real.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And to be recognized.
Yeah.
I've been recognized a couple of times.
Exactly.
And I'm like, y'all out here really
The
watching
world.
That's Right.
That's why I'm saying it.
Y'all out here watching That's Right. I'm out here being weird on That's Right, controversial, you know, so.
Just black girling.
Yeah.
Being a black girl. And, you know, of course, everything that we say, everybody's not going to take to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we said that on our first episode when we first launched on Quintessential Black Girls. Like, we're not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
You know, like, everybody has their audience.
Right.
So, of course, we're going to have our critics. Of course, we're going to have people that'll listen to us that might not agree with what we're saying, but we're not for everybody.
And for those we are for, like, we love y'all. Because y'all really do crank up for us. And y'all really do rap for us. And we get so many, like, messages, DMs, stitches.
Yes.
And it's just kind of like, I don't Google us. I don't do searches of our names and stuff on social media. It's mad weird. But I don't really know how to work TikTok.
I don't know about that, sis.
So no, listen, like, I don't know how to get to things on TikTok easy.
Okay.
So, like, I don't have, like, find your friends and stuff. So whenever I'm trying to find Crystal and Elisa, I have to go to the search bar because I don't really know how to do it.
Okay, well, that's what I do too.
So when I went to the search bar recently, I saw all the stitches. I was like, yo, Lisa. And that's when I called you, like, wow.
We out here for real.
And a lot of people resonated with a lot of things, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So, and I'm hoping that I get the same reception with Crystal, with Conversations with Crystal.
And you will. And
we'll just, I do want to take a minute to go into, like, just Lisa said, like, I do anything I want to do, I do it. I take a chance on me, right? Like, I see an opportunity and I'm just like, hey, just do this. The worst that can happen is it can fail, and guess what? You did it, right? Like, the worst thing that can happen is that it cannot work out the way that you dreamed. But guess what? When you really do try to push for something, like, there is a way that it works out, even if it's in the lesson. And I hate that I see people, because I do a lot of different things, and I take a chance on me. And so when people are like, oh, I wish I could do that, I'm like, you can. What's holding you back? But I just think it's fear, and I just think, you know, people are like, you're already successful. Before I was this successful, I was taking a chance on me. I had a whole life coaching business. Did you know that I had that?
I didn't know about the life coaching business.
I had a life coaching business.
I did not know that, sis.
Ain't nobody's life coach. That's why.
No, you... based on the response at this moment in this day, time, age, whatever, you everybody's life coach right now.
It was
people is tuning in.
I love Lisa. She just is over exaggerating the reach. But, like, no, like, I did. So after I graduated, y'all know I went to law school.
Or a motivational speaker.
And I'm a motivational speaker. I motivate Lisa
all the time.
After I graduated law school and I wasn't working, I was like, okay, Lord, I'm just gonna do my own thing. If you're not gonna let me be an attorney, I will just do something else. Because this wasn't immediately after. This is after I was sitting on my floor crying for years, and years is not an exaggeration.
You explained that in one of our one of our episodes too.
And so I just got an idea, and I was like, I'm gonna be a life coach. Let me tell you something. My life was in shambles. like
the whole time.
Like, my life was not doing what it was supposed to be doing. But look at my hair. It's a disaster.
You're good, sis.
Ugh, I need to go get my hair done. I put these curls on myself, y'all. Anyway, and for people listening to this, I know I'm on your nerves. Because if you're watching it, you're like, oh yeah, I can see she did need to put that little piece down. I can see her little tracks. So, put that piece down.
Stop.
Anyway,
nobody can see nothing.
It don't make me, never mind. I do not care. I don't care about that. Like, whatever. I have what I have, don't have what I don't have.
Period.
I do not have 20-inch hair. So I was just like, yo, I'm gonna do this thing. My life was in shambles, but I literally was developing. I didn't have but one client. I want everybody to be clear. I did not have.
That's a great start.
I didn't have a life coaching business. I was trying to have I had one, but it wasn't successful. But I will tell you this: I did 2 seminars.
Oh, you did seminars?
I hosted 2 seminars and I sold tickets on
I did not know that. I didn't know. Yeah, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. This is
Unplugged.
so embarrassing that I am admitting this right here, right now. But no, like I did 2. It was like my family and friends came, but then somebody came in from North Carolina. Some dude, and I wasn't cute then. Maybe
you was cute, and he wanted to see. He wanted to see what you was about.
But he came in from, and I think it turned him off. And I'm gonna be keeping a whole stack. When he realized like most of the people was my friends, he was like, "She's just ain't no life coach." Because I think he came for the information. Experience. But I think he realized like, yo, these are just her family supporting her.
He cannot. But in that moment, he had to have heard you talk, because once somebody hears you talk, they like.
I think it was it was really good because everybody, the people were like, and even the people like, if I remember, because I did it at hotels, I did it, I did. Yes, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
You gonna do it? That's
facts. So because it's not as expensive as you think. So I will take, because I didn't have a lot of money.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's not as expensive as you
can pull that through.
Yeah, and so I had brochures done, like it was really T-shirts, all kind of stuff. And so but I'm gonna do that thing.
Period. And you put your mind to it, right?
If I think if it was thunk, maybe I am like, okay, I can do this.
Yes.
I can do, like, this is doable. And so it breaks my heart when people are such like a slave to society and a slave to tradition,
comfort. That part. And
then guess what? You're a slave to comfort and you're not comfortable. And so you're like, well, if I take a chance, I may lose my money and so you have all those things and then you're unhappy. So at least I take a chance and I'm like, oh, well, I lost out this. And let me say this, the things that I take a chance on, like I'd be successful. The only reason I'm not a life coach right now is because the Lord tapped me on my shoulder and said, girl, you're not a life coach. And I started.
Girl, you're a motivational speaker.
In the life coaching, I met my first legal client.
Okay.
That is how it worked out. So life coaching, I got my very first client through my very first legal client through life coaching. And so I stopped life coaching because I was like, oh wow, now it's the transition into law, and I feel like the Lord just didn't want me to get that far, thinking that I was a life coach the whole time. I done passed the doggone bar. So, but like there has been nothing that I've said, I'm gonna take a chance on this thing and it not be successful. That's just, and so no, for real. And and I'm not saying like it's not scary. Sometimes you gotta do it, teeth clenched, eyes closed, right? Like sometimes you just gotta jump into that thing. Like that's Crystal and conversation with Crystal. Like I want to do it and it's very scary because what if I suck, right? And then but what if I don't? And I don't have to live the rest of my life saying like, what if I had started that podcast? What if I had started that life coach experience? And then I hate when I sound cliche, but I feel like I sound so cliche, but I see so many people have so many dreams and they're just like
holding back.
Yes.
Just fear.
And it's like I'm comfortable and or I'm not comfortable, but like I will be, if I keep on this path, I will be comfortable soon. But then you're miserable because you're doing something that just like doesn't sit right with you, or you're not taking a chance on you. And so
it's just so much more out there, right? Like you're missing out.
Right.
You're missing out on a lot of opportunities. There's just a lot of things out here and you just holding yourself back. You just, like you say, can be miserable. Some people are comfortable, but I'm not built like that. Right? Like I feel like once you get to one part of life, one part of success, you realize that there's still so much more. Regardless of what level of success that you're at,
there's more success.
There's more success, and I, for me personally, I can't get to that comfort zone, because I don't know, I'm just too intrigued, that there's always something better out there.
And I agree. And it's like, and here's the thing. For me, it's not like I am striving for something all the time. It is, because I'm not talking to people who are like, no, like I'm good. Everybody is not meant to start a business. Everybody is not meant to do a podcast or to do anything creative or to whatever. Some people are like, no, like I like my $100,000 a year job, my $50,000 a year job, because like I don't want to have to work. I want to work for somebody because let me tell you something. Owning a business and cutting checks and paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then when I realized how much I was paying in employer taxes for my employees, I was flabbergasted. I said, this on top of bonuses, on top of 401k, on top. Having a business is very expensive. Running a business is a lot, right? So everybody doesn't have that desire. And so I am not in any way saying, why are you with your 9 to 5? You could be doing, no, I am saying to people who are like, yo, I wish I could do this. Mm-hmm. And they have something in mind that they wish they could do, but they just haven't taken the chance on it.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Like, just go ahead. Because the worst that can happen is that you fail, not that you die. Right? Like, the worst that can happen is, and I really hate sounding like this because I've been poor before. I fix my hair again. Y'all, please help me. Pray for this hell. I have been very, very, very poor. Right? And so, but I'm not coming from a place of, oh, she got money now, so she can afford to try things and not fail. But let me tell you something. Because the things I want to try now will cost me all my money. Like, I am not trying safe things. I am like, okay, I'm at this level. I want to risk it all. I want to risk everything I have to go to the next level, right? And so, but before I got here, before I got to a place to where I could be comfortable, like financially comfortable, I wasn't, and I started the cheat code. And that was the name of my yeah. And our slogan was, if life is a game, you might as well win. And so, and I started with my friend. Mm-hmm. And so, but I didn't have money, and I just did that. Mm-hmm. And I literally, y'all, I have to need y'all to understand, like, I was with my husband, we was living paycheck to paycheck. Like, he was a 6-figure man. Like, he's not like, but yeah. 6 figures with 6 kids, what that look like? Look, that's why you have, now we're 7 figures. Lisa.
So I'm with you, sis.
I came from nothing.
Those are the best testimonies too.
It was so funny because I don't think about my money like that. I don't think about like, it never registered to me. 7 figures never registered to me until someone said that was what they aspired to make, 7 figures. Okay. And so I promise you, I don't pass the bar. I am a doctor. I am an attorney. I was like, what is 7? How many is 7 figures? Mm-hmm. Because I literally counted it out on my hand. It was like, oh, okay, I'm there. Been there, done that, right? Mm-hmm. And so you could have never told 8-year-old me living in the projects. I wasn't in a project, so I don't say it. I was in a decent house, so I don't say it, but it was still in the hood. But anyway, that I will be here. But I say all that to say, like, but before I got here, when my husband and when I had that life coaching business, we didn't have any extra money for me to start. Mm-hmm. So I literally used the money from ticket sales to get myself going, to pay for the hotel and all of that. Like, I used that money. And I remember I only did 2 seminars, but the second one I made a profit. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is so great. I was just so excited or whatever. And it's like, and maybe because I had a husband who let me do that, but I quit my job and I just had God. Yeah. Like, I literally quit my job where I was working and quit my job where I was working. And I took a chance on God. I took a chance on me. Mm-hmm. And so there are people out there who are like, I want to try this, but, or I can do you one better. There are people out there who are like, the Lord told me to do this. I know I'm supposed to be writing that book. I know I'm supposed to be starting this business. I know I'm supposed to be volunteering in this manner. I know I'm supposed to be giving in this manner. And you are so afraid that what if the Lord told me to give everything, and what if I do and I lose everything? Or the Lord told me to quit my job, and what if I do that and then I can't make my mortgage? That ain't who God is. That's not who he is. That we always talk about. It is, and it's the faith in God. It's the faith in the character of God. But what happens is people don't know the character of God, and so they think that he will lure you out somewhere and say, "Now fall." Let me watch you fall. That's not. He is a good father. And we had a sermon at church, and my God, baby and I were talking about this the other day. Like how people have like an orphan spirit, and so they can't really see God as a father. Like they see him, they worship him, they know he's great, but not like a dad great. You know what I'm saying? So do you think, and the word of God says, your father, he knows how to give good gifts to you. I know how to give like the greatest gift, right? Like that's Bible, not in those words I'm paraphrasing, but it's just like when we recognize God as like, that's my dad. Like he's not giving me a plan. He hasn't given me this blueprint or one for me to sit on. Cause then it's like, if your dad's like, yo, go do this. If your natural dad was like, hey, go do this. And you're like, maybe he's trying to trick me. He would be like, yo, go, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? But God is like, this will honor me. And in turn, I am going to honor you. Like he is not going to give you something to watch you fail. I would not serve a God who would do that. And that's how, you about to say something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm with you. I feel you. Almost completing your sentence. It's just like God put us on this earth for something. So really it's our job and our duty to find our niche, to find what it is that God put us down here for. And we, you know what I'm saying? And we will be successful at whatever it is that we're doing once we figure out what it is that we're meant to be down here for.
Right.
There's a lot of people that just, you know, I remember when I wanted to, I have a dang ice cream business. God didn't tell me to do that. I just wanted to do it. And I failed at it, you know? But I just feel like once you know God and once you figure out what God has you down here for, then that's when, you know, you will see life differently.
Right.
That's when your faith, not your faith will start to grow, but it's just real. It's walking in faith and understanding what God has you down here for.
No, and I think that's fair. And it's like, and it is a faith thing, and it's like I say, it's a faith. I lost my earring, unplugged.
This is the second time.
These just some little gold balls.
Oh, I got it. Well,
that's the bag. I don't know where the thing is. Anyway.
Unplugged.
And those are real gold, but this is my house. It's around.
Everything's real.
Yes. Everything is real. But no, like it is just the faith. But it's believing that God won't fail you. And I used to do, because what I used to do is be like, and this is not knowing who God is, but I would say, well, even if he doesn't show up, like, you know, which is, I guess, in a sense, kind of beautiful, but like, even if he doesn't show up, I have something to say. Even if he doesn't show up, I will, I'll be okay. If this results in me living on the street, I'm going to be okay, because God, and that, I thought like that. And that's the best I could do, but that's never going to happen. Like God he doesn't work like that. Now you can get out of line with God and he will still love you, and things may result in you being homeless. Like that's a thing. But if you are following the plan of God, you don't have to do that in fear, because he said he will never leave you nor forsake you. He's never going to give you something. And you know what it means to forsake someone, right? So he's never going to give you a business, to tell you to do something and be like, thought I had you, didn't you? That's not God. And you may have that orphan spirit if you've not known love, if you've not known a father's love, because that's different. That is different. My dad, I have a father who loves me very much, who works for me, and who's wants nothing more than my ultimate success and will do anything for me. And so if God is greater than that man, God is great. And so to be able to walk out this life knowing God has been, and trusting God. And again, trusting God does not look like, and some people, let me tell you something, it may look like this to some people because some people have it all together. I don't. I ain't gonna pretend. Sometimes trusting God is on the floor crying and crawling and saying, I trust you, Lord. Right? Like sometimes that's trusting God, doing it, crying, doing it when Satan is trying to, in your head, tormenting you. Right? Sometimes trusting God does not look like what someone would tell you. Well, you just need to have faith. Let me tell you something. I'm walking this thing. So I have faith, but it doesn't feel good. Right? Like sometimes, and I've talked about this, I'm like, whatever. But sometimes trusting God is just not going to be jumping up and down. But it's the doing of the thing. Right? And so it is the Lord, I trust you and I'm going to do it. Here is my work. Faith without works is dead, right? I will show you my faith by what I do. And what I do here is to trust God. And sometimes trusting God is giving. And sometimes trusting God is standing still. But whatever it is,
waiting period
it's being obedient. And so, and I just, because it's heavy on my heart, because I know that I've heard people even recently just have these dreams and be too afraid to go to that new city and start that new life and do that new thing, and God is like, no, like I'm planting something there, and I want you to be the person through whom I bring this thing, right? And so you don't have to be afraid, because if God called you to it, cliche barf, he will see you through it though. Like that's a really real thing. And so if you're out there and you're just questioning, this is your sign. If you're like, hey, I wanted a sign that I should, God's got you. God's got you. And may it be done to you according to your faith, right? So I am in no way saying to do it without the faith, because you can have fear in your head and faith in your heart. And that's what the word of God says. It's was your faith should be in your heart. And so you can just, my prayer is that you're able to shut that fear out and just recognize it for what it is. The word of God says that no weapon formed against you will prosper. The weapon's going to form. He never said they weren't going to form. He said they're not going to prosper. So my prayer is that you, using your faith as a weapon, can hear those things, that the doubt, and just shoot that down, right? And so, and my prayer is that you accomplish all that God had wanted you to accomplish in this life, right? So that, and not because, oh, you're going to live a horrible life in heaven, or you're going to, no, just because the life that God has you accomplishing is not just for you. And I think we take for granted that, and that's people take for granted, like, oh, I don't need much. I don't want much. I don't need much out of life. And it's kind of like, but if you are not getting much, you're not able to give much. And so if you sit and you're like, well, I don't need to start that business. I'm content, Lord. I don't need to, the Lord has said, start this business and I'll give you $1 million. And you automatically start planning your future with that, as far as a house and a car. And you leave out the fact that God was giving you $1 million to give to the local charity. And so then, and that's how you're able to sit and say, oh, it's okay if I don't do this because I don't need that. Whole time it went for you. Whole time you were going to get blessed as a result of it, but it was really for that orphanage, right? Like, or it was really for that college, or it was really just for, that family down the street. But you decided, I don't need the car that I dreamed up having when I did what God said he was going to do. So I'm going to put it down for me. And you're just not looking at the destiny that God has in you. Now, God's going to accomplish what he's through somebody else. But why not let it be you if he called you? And so, and one thing's for certain, two things for sure. If he called you, it will succeed. And if you're unsure if he called you, sit still and listen. And I learned, telling my husband this the other day, God is not slow to speak. He is a conversationalist. And so what happens though is we ask something in passing and we don't sit and have a conversation with God. So we're like, okay, Lord, show me if I'm supposed to start this ice cream business. And then we run off and go to work, or we go raise the kids, or we do whatever. And so God is like, oh, well, I guess she didn't care about the answer, right? When if you sit with God and you invite him in and you're like, okay, Lord, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I thought I heard. Test the spirit by the spirit. And, Satan ain't gonna never tell you to do nothing good or do nothing that's gonna bless somebody. I'm gonna tell you that right now, so you can know it's God. If it is going to serve to bless someone, you will know that is the Lord. But to the extent there is a question, ask the question of God, because the same way you heard it, God will give it to you. And to the extent you need, and it is, I know the Bible says there's like evil person who asks for a sign, but that is in context of there had already been many signs. And so if you feel like, I don't want to follow voices in my head, Lord, if this is you, I'm going to go start that ice cream business. I'm going to start that race car business. I'm going to do whatever, but I need to make sure that it's you. Then have the conversation with God. Don't throw up a quick prayer and run. Don't, sit with the Lord and take a moment to do that. We gonna cut it off here because once again, Christmas. Lisa, please stop letting me do this. Like, this girl.
This is what this is about. This is what this is about.
We gotta cut it off because I want to talk about something.
Okay. So what we doing? We cutting it off right now?
We're gonna cut it off here because we have 49.
Okay.
We have 49 minutes. We don't want to keep y'all too long. So we will see y'all. We're gonna do probably one more episode of That's Right Unplugged. Thank y'all for rocking with us.
Thank y'all.
We love y'all. See y'all later.
Peace.